Get full episodes of The Damage Report as a podcast on iTunes and Android, and you can watch the live show every weekday on YouTube TV. You have probably heard throughout your life from regular people and on the media and in TV and movies that African-American dads just don't stick around. And you might have heard this, in fact, not just from conservatives, from liberals as well. Well, it turns out that is just another myth of American politics. So here's the thing, there is some information out there, statistics that make it seem like that is true, and that is what a lot of this belief is based on. The fact that the CDC said back in 2013 that in nearly 72% of births to non-Hispanic black women, the mothers were unmarried. And that sort of information is used to underlie basically like everything that hypothetically the government could do to benefit this population. The answer is the dads just aren't around. The families are split up. They're not actually doing anything. Although, when you actually look into the day-to-day interactions of African-American dads with their kids, they are not just meeting other groups, they are in fact exceeding them. Now let's bring up this chart and you're gonna see examples of this. So on the left you have fathers living with their children, on the right fathers not living with their children. Now how involved is each group in these different categories? So in terms of they fed or ate meals with their children daily, by 5 points, black dads are actually more likely to do that than white dads and more likely than Hispanic dads. In terms of bathing their kids, again, significantly more likely. That is, they're just barely beaten out in playing with children to white dads, but 0.5, probably margin of error, more likely to read to their children daily. Those are the ones actually living with their children. But the criticism often is, the issue is that they're just not living with their children. But you see on the right, even the black dads not living with their children are again more likely to actually do these activities, in some cases fairly more likely than the white and Hispanic dads are. So it seems like if we're gonna continually say that the problems in this community is that they're just not around, we should probably have to square that with this data.
Well, it's an old a talking point that's been going, and then we talked about the problems, and then they'll also say well the black dads are out there doing all this crime, and that's why they're in jail and all this stuff. Anytime that we talk about the incarceration rates and all that, like stop doing the crimes, but we like to ignore the other facts that are going on. I have a kid, a son, and it's weird because it's kind of given to dads in general that they don't have this energy or interest to do things with their kid. So playing catch, we play baseball all the time. And to this day, I still get people going, I just love seeing you out here with your kid. You know what, that's what we like to see more of. Good job, Dad. I was like, I can't say thank you for your congratulations for me giving a damn about my kid, right? And then you know who it comes from a lot of times?
No.
Black folks.
Really?
Because we buy into it. We're part of the society. We buy into the crime thing. We buy into the black dads aren't in the household thing, because there's some anecdotal information, and sometimes we'll see, oh man, that's such a deadbeat dad right there, and then we think that's everybody. Guess how many? There's deadbeat dads of every race, because there's some guys that just don't have it, or some guys who work too much. There's dads who make a lot of money, and then they're traveling all the time. They're doing all these things, and maybe they're still married. Maybe they have a house on the East Coast and they have a home on the West Coast, but their kid lives there. They're not in the house. They're making 6 figures, but they're not in the house. And then sometimes I knew those kids. I went to a private college, and they're like, yeah, I never knew my dad growing up, but I have a lot of money. That happens a lot. That's part of it.
Yeah, and by the way, this idea that if you're not married, then you're not around. That's like, what decade is that sort of stance coming from? Lots of people live together and aren't actually married. That is a very, very common thing. I am living in exactly that sort of sin right now, actually. Okay, with just the few minutes remaining, I do want to jump to one more thing though. Consider that myth busted, by the way. You now go out and spread the accurate information. Andrew Gilliam is running against Ron DeSantis in Florida. If you are a regular Florida resident living down there, what sort of political advertising are you hearing? Well, thanks to white supremacists, here is one ad that you might have heard.
Well, hello there. I is the Negro Andrew Gilliam, and I'll be asking you to make me governor of this here state of Florida. My esteemed opponent, who done call me monkey, is doing a lot of hollering about how expensive my plans for healthcare be. But he be thinking of the white man's medicine, which is very expensive because it uses science and whatnot. But the medicine of my African race be very affordable. For instance, putting the chicken feet under your pillar during the full moon don't cost hardly nothing at all. So I promise that you make me Andrew Gilliam, the governor, every people's what be ailing will get all the chicken feasts they need. As to the claim by my esteemed opponent that I don't like the Jews, nothing be further from the truth. It was the Jews who owned the slave trade what done brought us Negroes to America to begin with. And they the ones that been putting Negroes.
So that sort of BS, it goes on, is now being played in robocalls to Florida voters thanks to the power of white supremacists and the funding that they have. These sorts of ads are targeting Andrew Gilliam. Other ads very similar have run in a number of other states as well.
As with most things with idiot racists, it'll probably backfire because no one, people who this would appeal to are already in that feeling, right? They're already in that mindset. They already think this is what they think of Andrew Gilliam. So there's no one who's going, I wonder who I should vote for, and then hear this ad and go, oh, Andrew Gilliam is that like caricature that I heard on this stupid ass robocall.
Yeah.
So it's there just to rile people up, to energize that racist base, and you know what? It's gonna. I love that people expose themselves. Keep exposing yourselves. Keep letting us who you are, so we can look at you and continue to degrade you.
I agree. I will say this, as I have said before, one of the greatest things we have going against white supremacists in this country are that white supremacists tend to be the stupidest people on the planet. Thank God. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.